let's explore what it takes to stand up as truth in the world. To stand up for yourself requires you to embody respect and honor. It's out of respect and honor for yourself that you stand up. An example could be in your relationship with your partner, that you no longer tolerate disrespect, dishonor. Previously, you would stay silent. You wouldn't speak up. You would be passive and allow yourself to be walked all over. But when you start embodying respect and honor, you see that you have a spine, you have a backbone, you stand your ground, you stand up as respect, you stand up as honor. And your partner feels this. It's new for him or her. They haven't seen this side of yourself because you've been suppressing it. It takes courage to stand up for yourself. Your legs may tremble. You may feel the butterflies in your stomach. You may feel the clenching of your throat. But when you stand up and you speak your truth, in that moment, you feel the power that you are embodying. You're no longer collapsing. In these moments when you don't stand up, you always feel something inside you that feels like it's shrinking, something being reduced. And sometimes there's just too much fear to stand up, that you don't step through that fear. You don't feel that fear anyways. This collapse is an avoidance of feeling that fear. And it takes courage to feel that fear fully. That's why it takes courage to stand up. Let me give you another example. So that one was standing up for yourself. And you see that you can't stand up for anyone else unless you first stand up for yourself. So it really starts with you. Let's say in your family, your kids say something disrespectful to your wife, their mother, right in front of you. And instead of tolerating it, staying silent, joking with them, colluding with them to reduce her, or degrade her, you stand up for the feminine. You stand up for your wife, for their mother in that moment. Standing up and speaking to your son. Don't talk to your mother that way. Remember, she's the one that brought you into this world. And when you speak to her or about her, it's always with respect. It's always with honor. In that moment, you are protecting the feminine. You are standing up for the feminine. You are a man of honor. Your son will feel that because it will be a transmission of honor, of respect. You'll be transmitting the standards and the boundaries. That we don't speak like that. And it upholds him to that higher standard. That when he's speaking to his mother or about his mother, it's nothing less than respect. It's nothing less than honor. So that's an example right there. It comes from my family, obviously. Both these examples. I only give you examples from my life. They're the only examples that I know. What's another one? Someone reducing their job. They're not seeing the significance of their job, their career. And you see in a lot of these, if not all, these examples, what you tolerate is actually someone, starting with yourself, reducing the sacredness of life. It always feels like someone is degrading it, reducing it. And that's where there's the direct relationship between standing up. It's because you refuse to reduce the sacredness of life. You no longer tolerate that. Because you're standing up. So you're no longer collapsing in these examples. Like when someone doesn't see the significance of their career or their job and they degrade it. They can't see how sacred it is, the sacred duty, the sacred responsibility, the sacred privilege. So standing up reflects this. I know I've done this many times for my wife, who's a kindergarten teacher. And on those hard days where she comes home overwhelmed or venting about something that's happened, I remind her how significant her role is in those kids' lives. That she is a leader in that classroom. And she's nurturing those kids, shaping their lives. This also happens when someone asks me, what does my wife do? And I say that, oh, she's a kindergarten teacher. And sometimes they may say something that reduces the sacredness of that role. Oh, it must be nice to just be around kids. It's not like you're teaching them anything anyways. It's all just coloring or cutting shapes, learning the alphabet, easy stuff. And I check them right there because I stand up for her. I stand up for the significance of her role. And you can see that they gain a new perspective. It's like they didn't see it that way. before. So that's another example. Another example again of protecting the feminine, standing up for the feminine, even when she's not there. That's the integrity. Could look like hanging around the boys, and you know the saying, boys will be boys, and women are often objectified, or there's sexist comments being said. Well, in those situations, again, amongst the brotherhood, the man of honor stands up in that situation. Hello. Stands up in that situation. Does not tolerate the sacredness of the feminine being objectified. Does not tolerate his fellow brothers degrading women in his presence. And it's not that you stand up in position, let me take my stance. It's not like that. It's not about position. It's that you're standing up as presence. And they feel that presence. There's an energetic transmission. Often, there's a moment of silence when you've said your word, taken your stand. That moment of silence after you have spoken truth and stand your ground as truth, they feel it. That's when it lands. And right there, you become a reflection. You become a mirror that's reflecting their true nature. They see a man of honor. And in that reflection, they also have to face the gap of what they are right now and what they see. They see how they are speaking from dishonor, lower standards, reduction, smallness. And it's that contrast that makes it very clear. It shows them what honor is. It shows them what respect is. It shows them what protection is in that moment. It shows them what integrity is. It shows them all these different things. Energetically, they feel it. It becomes clear to them. And it's very confronting. It's uncomfortable for them. These times when you are collapsing are oftentimes when you want to not make others uncomfortable and not feel that discomfort yourself. You take the easier path. which is really no path at all. It's when you stand up that you're walking in living truth. But every time you collapse, it's because you're afraid. You freeze in fear. And in that moment, you don't stand. You stay small. You feel something in you that wants to be said. You know it in your heart that what is perhaps being said by the men in your life, the boys in your life, degrade and reduce the sacredness of the feminine. But something in you doesn't want to stand up. It's afraid to. This is why, again, it takes courage to stand up as a man of honor. So instead of standing, you stay small. And you don't offer that mirror to your partner, to your kids, to your friends. They don't see the sacredness of life. But when you do stand, you become a mirror that reveals the sacredness of life. You expose them. And in doing so, you also reveal their potential. They see it being modeled. They see it being embodied. In that moment, you are undeniable. They can joke around, they can laugh it off, they can play it down, they can project all they want, but there's something in them that feels the truth that you are, that feels the truth that you speak, that feels the truth that you stand as. So these are some examples that you see. And you see, it's very disheartening when you're around others in the world that don't see that sacredness. They can't see the beauty. And it hurts you inside. It's disheartening. And if you don't speak up, if you don't take a stand, then you see that you actually support that illusion. You've collapsed into that illusion. in trying to avoid that discomfort that's experienced when you stand up. You don't stand out in the moment. You blend in. You blend in to that illusion, in the illusion. You fear ruffling the feathers, stirring the pot, offending someone. But you see, the divine masculine, when it's integrated fully, when it's embodied and expressed, it's so natural to stand up. It's actually that you're not really taking a stand. It's only that you take a stand when it's being integrated. But when it's embodied, it's that you are already standing. You are the standard. You are honor. You are respect. And you'll see that it's those relationships that are the closest to you. Your brothers, your sisters, your family, your partner, your friends, your colleagues. These people that you see every day, that's where it's the hardest to take your stance. As the divine masculine, when you have been withdrawn, when you have been suppressing the divine masculine your entire life, it challenges them. It challenges the patterns that have been playing out. So when you start standing, you're no longer tolerating disrespect from your partner, disrespect from your children. You're no longer allowing your brothers to degrade or reduce the sacredness of life. I'll give you another example. My sister-in-law is about to have her fourth baby. This one was unexpected. And she's gonna have her baby any day now. And she's just so beautiful, radiant, glowing. That presence that a woman has when she's pregnant, carrying life, birthing beauty, it's undeniable. And when I was helping my brother-in-law do something, put some of our old baby stuff in his truck, things for their nursery, he was saying comments like, oh, I thought we're past this stage, and making it seem like a burden instead of a blessing. He couldn't see the beauty of his wife in this moment. He couldn't see the baby as a blessing. It seemed like an inconvenience for him. It seemed like an obligation for him. And this is my brother-in-law. And you see the divine masculine upholds his brothers. This is the brotherhood. This is true brotherhood. Upholds his brothers to the highest standard. Does not allow them to degrade. The beauty of the feminine. Reduce the sacredness of life. So I spoke up and stood as truth, which then gives him that reflection that allows him to see what he's blind to. He can't see the beauty. When he's projecting the burden, he can't see the sacred responsibility, the privilege it is to be a father. When he's projecting the obligation and the inconvenience, that this is somehow some detour that's taking him away from his life, as if he's going back to the baby stage when his 3 other kids have surpassed that. This is really the strength of brotherhood, where we hold each other accountable and responsible. So I'm holding him to a higher standard than what he's living, what he's being. And he's being reflected back that standard. If I don't say anything and I stay silent, then I'm left with that feeling that feels disheartening. It feels like an ache in the heart because he can't see the beauty of his wife, can't see that she's a vessel for life itself. He's not respecting and honoring the sacredness of the role of a father. So in that moment, a lot happens. He sees that gap of who he is and who he can become. He sees what honor looks like. He sees what respect looks like. He sees his potential in that moment. He can see where he's staying small. And if I stay silent, if I don't take a stand, then I collapse. And meet him at his level. I shrink and stay small One does this when they lack the courage to stand up, because when you stand up, you stand out. I'm going to say something that he's never heard before. He's going to feel something he's never felt before. And that's going to be uncomfortable for him. And the masculine is the ability to hold the line in those situations. It's the ability, the capacity to hold space for that discomfort, to stand up and look someone in the eyes without flinching. In that moment, it's not just about brotherhood. It's not just about holding him accountable. Holding him responsible. As a father. It's actually an initiation. It's initiating him into fatherhood. It's a rite of passage. He sees the reflection. He sees himself as a boy that must become a man. And this is that rite of passage. The boy that's avoiding responsibility. A boy that's not accountable for his actions. A boy that's hiding. From duty. Escaping. Who's playing small. Who lacks courage to stand as a man of honor. In that moment, it's a reality check. It's like a wake-up call. It's like shaking him. Can't you see your beautiful wife pregnant with potential? This is your seed that is becoming the fruit of your fulfillment. To enjoy this fruit in fatherhood. So it's really calling one forth, calling one into fatherhood, calling one into living truth. And one has to face themselves in that moment. They're confronting themselves. They're facing fear by looking in the mirror. This is why it's so uncomfortable. This is why people avoid it. Because that initiation, what he feels as the intensity of my presence, the intensity of the words, they pierce through the illusion. They're not understood by the mind, but they're felt in the heart. And what he feels is that he must die to himself. The old him must die for him to be initiated. You can't remain a boy and become a man. To become a father, something in you must die. And that's what he feels. So these moments in everyday life, such as that, just putting some baby furniture and stuff for their nursery in his truck, his comments are said so casually. And that's when you stop collapsing into life being treated so casually. It holds him to a higher standard. This is your commitment. You can't treat this casually. Or the other examples that you can't reduce women to objects. You can't disrespect the woman that birthed you. And you will not disrespect the man you married. So these are some everyday examples of how it takes courage to stand up and embody respect and honor. And in this integration process, you see that what you are no longer tolerating is the old pattern. What you are no longer doing is allowing disrespect and dishonor within yourself, which is really about no longer suppressing the divine masculine, because the divine masculine itself is honor, is respect, and does not tolerate anything less, will not shrink to fit in to other people's boxes, will not silence himself to make others comfortable, will not blend in to the illusion, and will not play the game of smallness. The divine masculine, when fully integrated, does not need to take a stand, because the one that was afraid to stand no longer exists. And that which remains standing is the true you. The one that's expressing the divine masculine, the divine feminine in its fullness. So if you're ready to start integrating the divine masculine within yourself, if you're ready to embody respect, honor, dignity, if you're ready to live as your wholeness and experience life in its fullness, I'm calling you forth. So join me in living truth.